Warning, playing FPL is highly addictive. It may cause stress, a loss of free time, a resentment towards friends or colleagues, and a dislike to football in general. Please, FPL responsibly.
Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV and a brand new season of FPL content. If you're watching this video in early July, my recommendation is to close your browser window now, forget about FPL for a few more weeks, and enjoy the summer whilst you still can. If, however, you're like me and don't have a life outside of fantasy football, then fear not. FPL TV is here for you from now right through until the end of the season. So be sure to get subscribed to FPL TV if you haven't already, with lots more FPL content on its way. In this 3-part mini-series, I'm going to be analysing the 3 promoted clubs, Sheffield United, Norwich and Aston Villa. Now, the general consensus at the start of the FPL season is to perhaps avoid players from these promoted clubs and adopt more of a wait-and-see strategy with the Premier League new boys. With that said, it's important to head into the new season with as much information as possible, and let's not forget what great value Wolves ended up being last season. So in this mini-series, I'm going to quickly run through each team of players, look at some key stats from their promotion campaigns, and hopefully give you guys a better idea of what to expect from them come game week 1. Who knows, perhaps we'll pluck out a few enablers along the way, and even if they're not worthy of your game week 1 squad, they could still be worth adding to the watch list for later. In this episode, we'll be looking at Sheffield United, and if you're a Sheffield United fan watching, please comment below if there's anything I've missed or got wrong, and I can then favourite your comment so everyone else can read it. Chris Wilder's Blades adopted a 3-4-1-2 formation last season as they went on to accumulate 89 points and secure second place for automatic promotion. Defensively, it was Sheffield United who had by far the best season, and therefore the talented Dean Henderson produced some very impressive numbers between the sticks. The 22-year-old shot stopper played all 46 games in the Championship last season, conceding a league best of just 41 goals. Henderson was also top of the league for clean sheets, with 21 altogether, an excellent return, averaging almost 1 clean sheet for every 2 games played. In short, he greatly outperformed the goalkeepers from the other 2 promoted sides, as can be seen by the stats shown on screen. The talented youngster also has a decent penalty saving record, having saved 6 of the 14 he's faced in his short career. Now, the issue with Henderson is that he was on loan last year, and is therefore yet to be confirmed as a Blade again next season, and for this reason he's not yet even added to the FPL game. If they can secure his signature in this window though, he's probably the goalkeeper I'd look to if I had to pick from just these 3 clubs. However, with a likely valuation of 4.5 million, for that price there's probably a few safer options already available, such as Matt Ryan of Brighton, or whoever starts for Burnley between Nick Pope and Tom Heaton. As mentioned, the Blades' defence consisted of 3 centre-backs last season in Basham, Egan and Jack O'Connell. They then had wing-backs either side joining attacks, with Baldock and Freeman sharing the right wing-back slot, and then the ever-present Ender Stevens on the left. What's interesting to note about the Sheffield United defence is that, in addition to their impressive defensive stats last season, they also produced a very large amount of goals and assists from this back line. And this was down to the outside centre-backs O'Connell and Basham overlapping and overloading in wide areas. So it wasn't just their wing-backs that were keen to bomb forward. Because of this unorthodox tactic, Jack O'Connell ended the season with 3 goals and 4 assists from centre-back, and his partner Basham produced some decent attacking numbers as well, with 4 goals and 2 assists to his name. The question is, will they be able to get away with this kind of tactic when facing better opposition in the Premier League? The best attacking returns from the Blades' defence though was Ender Stevens, who ended the season with an impressive 4 goals and 7 assists at left wing-back. To put that into perspective, that's more than what Matt Doherty produced for Wolves in their Championship promotion campaign. With Sheffield United's impressive defensive stats and Ender Stevens producing 11 goal involvements, it's a really big shame that FPL have priced him at an expensive 5 million. Given the stats, I can see why they've done this, but for this reason I'm not sure he's quite worth the outlay, but certainly one to watch. Moving into midfield, there were 3 names predominantly on the team sheet, with both Oliver Norwood and John Fleck the deeper of the 3, and the experienced midfielder Mark Duffy playing just behind the strikers, hence his slightly more expensive valuation of 5.5 million. Taking a quick look at the stats, we can see that it was a fairly productive season for Mark Duffy, where he produced 6 goals and 7 assists. Therefore, with 13 goal involvements, he just edged out the other 2 in midfield. What does concern me slightly with Duffy is his age, as he turns 34 in October and he was substituted 28 times last campaign. The Blades have also just signed Luke Freeman from QPR, who can also play in his position, so perhaps a bit of uncertainty there for Duffy and his starting place. With all things considered, I don't think he's worth the extra 0.5 million. As for John Fleck and Oliver Norwood at just 5 million, perhaps there is some value to be had here. These two central midfielders were actually the most creative players in this side last time out, with Fleck producing 10 assists and Norwood bagging 9. Oliver Norwood was also voted into the PFA Championship Team of the Season for his exploits, and his wide passing range and deadly set-piece accuracy made him a huge asset to boss Chris Wilder. What really caught my eye with Oliver Norwood is his chances created, with a high 97 for the season. This was actually the highest amount of any player from the 3 promoted clubs, and the second highest in the league altogether. Both Norwood and Fleck are often on corners and free kicks, so in an FPL game with not many tempting £5 million options, perhaps they are ones to at least consider as budget enablers. Lastly, we end with the strikers, with Billy Sharp and David McGoldrick being ever present as the front two last season. From the 78 goals that Sheffield United scored in their promotion campaign, this pair managed 38 between them, therefore just 1 goal shy of 50% of the team's total goals. Clearly, they were relied upon pretty heavily, with their backups Leon Clark and Gary Medine getting just 6 goals, so let's dig a bit deeper into their stats. McGoldrick at 5.5 million made 45 appearances last season, only missing the 1 game, and he managed 15 goals. On a personal level, this is actually a decent return for him, as he's a striker that's never been known as prolific. However, his average of 1 goal in every 3 isn't exactly great for the Championship, so now that he's making that step up to the Premier League, you do worry this ratio will drop significantly. On the positive, he was the club's penalty taker last season, and at 5.5 million, you won't find many of those in this year's FPL. However, I do believe that the extra 0.5 million to get Billy Sharp is probably worth the upgrade. Billy Sharp, in my opinion, is more of a seasoned goalscorer, and for Sheffield United, he's bagged 87 league goals in 164 games since re-signing for them. That's a goal for every 2 games, an impressive average. Last season, he bettered that average, bagging 23 in just 40 appearances, which is no doubt a very good return. So could he be worth a punt at a bargain 6 million, especially with 3 decent-looking home games in their opening 5 fixtures? So that's my 6-minute analysis on Sheffield United from an FPL perspective. Hopefully, at the very least, it's painted you a decent picture of what to expect from the Blades next year, and perhaps it's given you a few players to add to your watch lists. For me, it's Billy Sharp, Oliver Norwood and Ender Stevens that I'll be keeping tabs on personally. If you enjoyed the video, as always, be sure to support the channel by dropping a like and most importantly getting subscribed. This 3-part mini-series will continue shortly with Norwich City, so be sure to look out for that one. FPL responsibly this summer and I'll catch you all soon.